The first to speak his soul becomes the easiest to shape. Lucian Vale.
Let me tell you something most people will never say out loud. The moment you open up, you lose. Not because vulnerability is bad, but because in the wrong hands. It's a weapon. In a world built on power, perception, and control, the one who shows their cards first usually walks away with nothing. You think you're building trust. You think you're being honest. You think you're creating connection, but what you're really doing is giving them a map of your weaknesses, your fears, your needs. And once someone knows what moves you, they know how to move you. This is the dark psychology of emotional exposure. And today, we're going to dismantle it piece by piece, because what looks like connection is often just control. Let's begin. Emotional leverage in negotiation and love power doesn't belong to the one who feels the most. It belongs to the one who control what they show. In negotiations, the first person to reveal what they want loses leverage. The moment you say, "I really need this deal," the other party knows they can press. They sense desperation, and desperation is the death of advantage. This principle extends far beyond business. It's how relationships are structured, often without anyone realizing. In the early stages of dating, the person who shows more emotion first, who says "I love you" first, often ends up chasing. Because emotion, when shown too soon, creates imbalance, and imbalance creates leverage. The less invested person holds the power. They can set the terms, they can bend the dynamic to their will, and the more emotional one, they're left adjusting, reacting, and hoping. This isn't about being cold, it's about being conscious. Most people reveal too much too soon because they confuse honesty with openness. But in power dynamics, timing is everything. Control your timing and you control the tone. Why vulnerability is often exploited? Let's break a comforting lie. Vulnerability is strength. Sometimes, yes, but in the wrong context, too. The wrong person. It's blood in the water. Predators don't hunt strength. They hunt signals of weakness. And nothing signals weakness like someone who's eager to expose their soul without knowing who's listening. Manipulators love vulnerability, not because they care, but because it gives them tools. The more they know about what hurts you, what scares you, what you crave, the easier it is to shape your behavior. Want a historical example? Cult leaders often begin by creating safe, warm spaces for people to open up. They don't dominate immediately. They listen. They encourage confession. They reward vulnerability. Why? Because once they know what's missing inside you, they can pretend to give it to you. And when you believe someone has what you need, you give them power. This is why in espionage, intelligence officers build emotional rapport first. They never demand information. They let the subject reveal it willingly, and every emotional reveal becomes a string they can pull later. You think you're being understood, but you're being documented, and when the moment comes, that information becomes leverage. Cold reading, mirroring, and dominance in silence. Let's talk tactics. You've heard of cold reading, the ability to read someone with little information. But the best manipulators don't just read, they mirror. They reflect your emotional state back at you to build false rapport. They nod when you nod. They mimic your posture. They echo your phrases. And when you feel mirrored, you feel seen. But it's not real. It's control. Because once they've mirrored you, you trust them. And once you trust them, you open up, and once you open up, they own the dynamic. This is why the most dangerous people are not loud. They are quiet, observant, patient. They ask questions, they wait, they listen, and when the time comes, they strike exactly where you revealed the wound. Contrast this with emotional dominance through silence. The person who reveals nothing, who observes more than they speak, builds mystery. And mystery is power. Because people project onto silence. They assume, They fill in the blanks, and the blanks can become admiration, fear, obsession. By saying less, you leave space. And space creates gravity. Strategic emotional control. So what's the answer? Never feel, never share, never connect, no. But never hand over emotional ammunition to someone who hasn't earned your trust. Emotional control isn't emotional repression. It's emotional strategy. Ask yourself, is this the right person to share this with? What do they gain by knowing this? What happens if they use this against me? The moment you reveal your emotions first, you set the tone. You give the other person a map. But when you wait, when you observe, when you hold, you shift the balance, you build gravity, you create emotional authority. Because in a world of oversharing, the person who controls their inner world is rare. And in dark psychology, the rare is powerful. Have you ever revealed too much too soon and regretted it? Leave your story in the comments. And if you want more insights into emotional power, psychological warfare, and mastering inner control, subscribe. Because the more you understand your emotions, the less they can be used against you. Stay aware, stay composed, and never let your silence be mistaken for weakness. Sometimes the strongest move is not to reveal your move at all.